Hello, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. Today, I'd like to wish everyone happy holidays, whatever their holidays may be, and in whichever country they happen to be in. There's usually some holiday around this time of year, around the end of the year, that they are celebrating being with their families and so forth. So I really do wish all of you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year. And want to renew my effort to let you know that while things on the immigration front, many areas are looking grim because our current president is doing everything in his possible power to decrease both legal and illegal immigration, to take away due process, to bar what the law allows, and is currently having lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit filed against him. Uh, it is tiresome in some respects to keep fighting, but that's what we have to do. We have to realize this president won't be in office forever. We have to realize that the court systems are overturning left and right policies that he's has attempted to make and has tried to put in place, and that many cases are heading up to the Supreme Court, but that we, at least the immigration attorneys, are fighting for the clients, for the people applying for asylum, for the people who are getting adjustments denied without due cause, for the people who are applying for non-immigrant work visas and all of a sudden magic reasons from immigration are popping up as to why they're denied, for appeals that are going through that are given decisions in record time in order to meet a quota that are then being appealed to the federal courts. So the bottom line here is that there are always ways to fight, and that we can see that democracy sometimes is not an easy thing to keep. That someone who wants to chip away and take away the democracy and democratic principles which exist will keep at it time after time after time. And at some point, it becomes a matter of you saying, well, I'm just going to give up and not come in, or I'm not going to fight anymore, or it's hopeless, versus that no matter what he throws at us, no matter what new regulations come out, no matter what violations of due process and procedure and laws are made, that we will always keep fighting to allow democracy to prevail, to allow immigration to continue as the law permits, to show that we're not going to allow or permit a president to denigrate the laws, ignore the laws, try to get around the laws in order to institute policies which are not passed by Congress, are not agreed to by Congress, and have not been passed into law as of the present time. So, in one respect, all of this fighting has a good effect in that, number one, a lot of it wins. Okay, we win. Of course, it might be appealed, and then we have to fight again. But on some respect, if there were not all of these people fighting for immigration, for immigrants and non-immigrants and asylee seekers and people in removal proceedings, if we weren't fighting, then I can guarantee you that this president would be making new regulations and trying to basically avoid the current laws day and night without any thought of whether he will be stopped. So even though it seems like there's a barrage, as it turns out, of policies and executive orders and essentially violations of current law and statutes, it's a lot slower, to be honest with you, than it was in the past years, which is great, right? I mean, it shows that at least there's some thought that goes into whether or not there will be any possibility that it will go forward before it's brought into courts. For example, the Attorney General of California alone has brought 65 lawsuits against Donald Trump, okay, and his administration. And that's just the Attorney General, and that's just California. So you can imagine the barrage of lawsuits against the administration, of lawsuits challenging all of the policies that are unfounded and that are violating due process. And so while I conclude this video by again wishing you a happy holiday, you need to keep your heads held up high. You need to remember that the fight always continues, and that when you win one fight, you're going to probably have to do another. But ultimately, the goal is to get the democratically passed laws and regulations that you're entitled to, and that cannot be stripped away by executive orders or by policies that try to bypass the law. So if you understand that it's not just you, that there's a whole plethora of immigration attorneys that are fighting for you, attorney generals, all kinds of organizations that are fighting against this administration, it should give you some hope. And we'll hope that next year things turn around even more, because again, we've seen lots of courts overturn the policies, and we'll go from there, step by step, fight by fight. Okay, have a good New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays. More on the coming weeks. If you like the video, click like, subscribe.